The epic of Attila the Hun. In the vast steppes of Central Asia, a child was born under the shadow of destiny. Attila, his name whispered among the Huns, destined to become a legend. Raised in the harsh, unforgiving terrain, he grew strong and cunning, mastering the art of war and leadership. In 434 AD, upon the death of his uncle Regila, Attila and his brother Bleda ascended as co-rulers of the Huns. Yet, the shared rule was not to last. Ambition and rivalry simmered until Attila murdered Bleda, seizing sole control. With a ruthless grip, he unified the Hunnic tribes, his eyes set on the riches of the Roman Empire. Attila's armies thundered across the Danube, a storm of destruction. In 441 AD, he struck the Eastern Roman Empire, razing cities to the ground. Sirmium fell first, then Nisus, each conquest more brutal than the last. The Eastern Romans, desperate and broken, bought a fragile peace with gold, but Attila's thirst for power was far from quenched. In 450 AD, a letter from Honoria, sister to the Western Roman Emperor Valentinian III, fell into Attila's hands. Whether a plea for rescue or a misguided alliance, Attila claimed her as his bride, demanding half the Western Empire as her dowry. When his demands were scorned, he marched his horde into Gaul. In 451 AD, on the fields of the Catalonian plains, a titanic clash ensued. Attila's Huns faced the combined might of Romans and Visigoths, led by General Aetius. The earth shook with the fury of battle. Blood soaked the soil, and the air rang with the cries of the dying. Though Attila's forces wreaked havoc, they were forced to retreat, a rare check on his ambitions. Undeterred, Attila turned his wrath on Italy in 452 AD. Aquileia fell first, its walls crumbling under the relentless siege. City after city succumbed to the Hunnic onslaught. His victories in each city left no survivors. The only way to live was to get out before they sacked the city. His victories were so swift and ruthless that the Romans began to call him the Scourge of God. In a dramatic turn, Pope Leo Reborn, unarmed and resolute, rode out to meet Attila. The Hun, moved by the encounter, or perhaps weary from his campaigns, withdrew, sparing Rome from annihilation. In 453 AD, on the eve of a new chapter in his life, Attila wed Ildiko. But the celebration turned to tragedy. Found dead in his bridal chamber, theories of a violent nosebleed or assassination swirled. Death from a nosebleed that led to him choking on his own blood while intoxicated. His sudden death sparked chaos, leading to the swift collapse of his empire. After his death, warriors would bury his body in an unknown location. After the funeral, those who knew of his burial spot were put to death to hide the location for all of history, almost as if Attila had never died at all. Attila the Hun, the scourge of nations, left a legacy of terror and awe. His name, synonymous with devastation, echoed through history. From the ashes of his conquests rose stories of a man who dared to challenge the might of Rome, a warrior whose ambition knew no bounds, and whose death marked the end of an era.